I think one of the things that I felt was key for the Nintendo Switch 2 coming into this generation was making sure that they somehow got some of the key experiences that you'd be able to play on Xbox and PlayStation, but now anywhere that you want. And we are seeing that with Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. We've got a brand new demo that is now available on the Nintendo Switch 2 in addition to the Xbox Series, and I would say capitalizes on what is super important, especially heading into 2026, while Nintendo finalizes their third-party and first-party software. So we're going to talk about the impact of this game, the demo itself, and other big updates for the Nintendo Switch 2 and more. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade demo. It is now available, and this demo is pretty cool because it actually transfers over to the main game. So the save file, if you get the main game, you're going to be able to pick up right where you left off at. You can also enter in the code here that you see, and you'll be able to redeem the demo as well from these countries. So if you want to write it down, you can, or if you want to check it out, Gamatsu has the codes on there. If you don't feel like searching or looking it up, you can just do it right here from these codes, depending on what country you're in. So that's pretty awesome as well. Now, here's a little bit of an overview of the demo, so you kind of know what you're getting into before you jump in yourself. So in the demo, players can experience the game's iconic opening chapter, in which the mercenary Cloud Strife and the underground resistance group Avalanche attempt to destroy a Mako reactor powering the dystopian city of Midgar. In their fight against the shadowy Shinra Electric Power Company, Cloud and his comrades are thrust into a larger conflict that will decide the fate of the planet. Players with demo save data on their console can claim the bonus items Revival Earrings and Survival Set in the full game. Now, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is due out for the Xbox Series and the Nintendo Switch 2 on January 22nd, 2026. It's already available on PC and PlayStation 5, of course, Epic Games Store as well, and the PC version will be available via the Microsoft Store on January 22nd as well. And another thing to note with this, guys, this is a game key card on the Nintendo Switch 2, as it's a huge download overall, but the game is only $40 as well, and it gets you the Intergrade content. So that is the extra DLC that you would have to get with the full release of the game on the PS5, or separately buying as a downloadable content. That is available right from the standard here, only for $40. And if you do like an early purchase digital bonus, you get like the original Final Fantasy VII as well, if you don't already have it, for digital buyers out there. So that's a pretty good deal overall. Now, why is this impactful, even though this game is going on 6 years old by the time that it came out? Because I think it came out at the end of 2020, so it's a 5-6-year-old game. What makes this important when it comes down to it? Sure, Nintendo Switch 1 got old games as well, but the difference with this, and why I've said this once, I'll say it again, it's so important for Square Enix and Nintendo to establish the new age Final Fantasy base to kind of bring back this franchise. There's been a lot of talk about Final Fantasy sales and what's happening there. There's been a huge decline in the sales of Final Fantasy games in Japan, and I do think that this is the start of potentially getting that audience back, so by the time that Final Fantasy 17 comes out, they can have a sizable built-up audience back again in Japan, with a platform that's actually going to be doing incredibly well, with the platform that's going to be the most popular when it comes to newer systems in Japan with the Nintendo Switch 2. So this is one of the key pieces. I think there's going to be a lot of interested people who maybe have never played Final Fantasy, or maybe they dropped it a while back and they haven't went back to it at this point. They can finally play it on the Nintendo Switch 2 and they can pick it up and have some fun with it. Like I said, especially in Japan. So this is going to be important heading into the next year, in addition to the other games as well. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, in addition to Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. All of those are also confirmed already from Square Enix to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. So this is just the first part of that, and we'll see what happens with the other games and how those do. But yeah, very important that Nintendo Switch 2 gets games like this, and it's been literally, because I've been covering games for a decade plus now, but the Nintendo Switch has never gotten a current Final Fantasy anywhere in the time frame of when it actually came out. The biggest or newest Final Fantasy, that just doesn't happen on Nintendo platforms. The last time that we saw that was the Super Nintendo era. It's been spin-offs and side games and older games, like let's say like a retro or classic game or something like that, or a weird Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition. It's been all weird stuff for decades now, and we finally have a new modern Final Fantasy game, and they also have announced new games for the system overall. This is something, like I said, hasn't happened since the Super Nintendo era with Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 and all of that. So it's definitely good to see when it comes down to that. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade and what's going on? Plan on downloading the demo? Let me know in the comment section. Before we move on to the next topic, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. All right, next up, we've got a big update for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. The update is out this week, and it adds a new mode, new difficulty level, and more. And the coolest thing about this is that I actually recently beat the game, I think last week or so. I've been beating a number of games recently between Metroid Prime 4, just recently beat that, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And this game has one of the craziest ending sequences. I would say suggest, if you can afford it, or if you can get it, or if you can rent it or play it, or whatever the case is, I highly suggest playing the game and beating the game. That ending sequence was absolutely spectacular. One of the best in any Zelda game, in my opinion. But now we've got even more content. I took 60 hours to beat that game, and now there's even more content coming out. We already had one free update. Here is the next free update. We've got a brand new mode. It's called Phantom Mode. Now, Phantom Mode is a new feature that randomly occurs in battles that have already been cleared. In battles where Phantom Mode occurs, some of the enemies that appear will change into dangerous species or miasma enemies, and there is a chance that Phantom Ganon will appear when a strong enemy is defeated. Compared to normal battles, you can obtain more high purity Zonai steel. Now, the new difficulty level has been added as well, called Taboo, and in this new difficulty level, you can experience high difficulty battles that are even more tense than the very hard mode. By clearing a certain number of battles in Taboo, you will receive special rewards such as high purity Zonai steel and increased carry limit for special food, adding new challenges as well. Following the first free update, the second update will also add multiple battle challenges and Hyrule challenges to the Hyrule map after clearing the main story. More enemies will appear as new dangerous species. Additionally, the training hall on Sky Island will be unlocked, allowing players to activate sync strikes by entering the training hall with 2 other players. New unique skills are also added here. New unique skills will be added to the Mysterious Golem for the one-handed sword, two-handed sword, and spear. The one-handed sword's unique skill, Shield Charge, will allow you to step forward with your shield ready to ward off dangerous attacks from charging enemies. Additionally, by timing this skill with an enemy attack, you can unleash a powerful spinning slash. You can learn it by completing the Battle Challenge and Hyrule Challenge that will be added in this update. Also got a new weapon added, the Forbidden Sword, a one-handed sword whose blade has been tainted by miasma and transformed into a sinister blade, has been added. It can be equipped by mysterious golems and warriors of all races. You can obtain it by clearing the battles added in this update. In addition to the above, the following new battles will be added. Battles focused on warriors, a deadly battle with a certain formidable enemy, and of course, once again, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is out. I beat the game recently, like I talked about, and it was fantastic. I think specifically with this game, I feel that the fluidity within the frame rate and the drastic improvement compared to what we got with Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity just makes me like this game significantly more. Now, I know that some people talk about content not added in compared to other previous Warriors games, but this game feels like it has more impact, more punch, more, I would say, depth with the combat compared to previous Warriors games that Nintendo has done. And once again, it runs and looks the best that it's it's ever done. And the unique or special attacks are cool, where you can sweep out whole enemies, but the unique attacks and having to time them up with certain enemies, how like they jump into the air with the red, or they charge right at you, or they block, that always feels good to counter with something as well. And with the amount of characters in this game and the certain fighting styles, not only is it flashy and looks great and runs great, but it's also fun to do the combat in the game. It's super fun to actually play through, be able to change characters, equip what you want, go through, level up. I had a blast playing this 60 hours, and I'm going to go back in. I've already done some of the extra content after you beat the game. I'm going to go back in and do more, just like slowly though, because there's other games that I actually have to finish up that came out earlier in the year that I want to get back to, but I'm definitely going to be checking it out every now and then, probably streaming it here and there as well. So what do you guys think about this brand new update for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, we got some Hollow Knight updates that are going down here. Let's first talk about Hollow Knight Silksong and how the sales have topped 7 million units. Goodness gracious, this game is a huge release at this point, with that 7 million units sold plus in about 4 months. We also have a free expansion called Sea of Sorrow that has been announced as well. So Team Cherry has announced Hollow Knight Silksong expansion Sea of Sorrow will launch in 2026, surpassing 7 million sales as well. So in this, there will be new areas, bosses, tools, and more. Team Cherry teased Hornet's adventures continue in our nautically themed expansion, coming free for all players next year. We'll keep further details a secret for now, but expect additional info shortly before Hollow Knight Silksong Sea of Sorrow releases. Hollow Knight Silksong is now available for pretty much everything at this point, and that's awesome. Like, it's really cool to see that they're continuing to put out stuff, but obviously they're very rich people at this point because their game has sold 7 million units overall, and there's not too many of those developers there. So with such a small team in comparison to most bigger teams that would get 7 million in sales, this is absolutely incredible for them. So congrats to Team Cherry. They definitely earned it with the game. Hollow Knight Silksong is awesome. It's one of the games that I have to go back to and complete, but I did buy it day one on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I do think that it's really good. It's super fluid. It moves well. I wasn't as impressed as maybe some of the other people when it comes to the reviews, but that doesn't mean it's not an incredible game that I'm going to go back and finish. I think I put 10 plus hours into it, but I'm definitely going to go back and finish the battles and everything like that because it is a very fun game. Now, in addition to the 7 million units and the Sea of Sorrow, the original Hollow Knight is actually coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2026, and it's going to be the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, so it's going to have better frame rate, higher resolution, and all sorts of cool stuff. So Team Cherry has announced that Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 edition will launch in 2026 as a free upgrade for users who already own the Switch version of Hollow Knight. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition will incorporate all of the updates and enhancements Hollow Knight Silksong received on Switch 2, including high frame rate modes, which that's 120 FPS, higher resolutions, which I think it runs like at 4K as well, or close to it, or 1440p, but either way, it's higher than the 1080p that's available on the Nintendo Switch 1, and additional graphical effects as well. So in preparation for the Switch 2 release, Team Cherry plans to update all versions of the original Hollow Knight for current platforms, adding features and fixing bugs. PC users can experience many of those updates now via public beta branch on Steam and GOG. New features will be available in the public beta branch include added support for 21:9 and 16:10 resolutions, game now pauses while in inventory menus, upgraded to Unity input system for broader control support, original input system still available if preferred via the options controller, advanced settings, added dithering effect and dithering options to reduce color banding, fixed a soft lock in City of Tears Grub Room, reduced Grey Prince Zote's stagger bounce height, updated Slide Grates / Collider to closer match visual, Salubra's Blessing now deactivates after reaching max soul, map planning is now smoother, various smaller fixes and tweaks as well. Now, the original Hollow Knight is available now for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam and GOG. So this is definitely good news for Hollow Knight players out there, whether it's Silksong or the original game. I do have the original Hollow Knight. I think it's fantastic. It made it into my top 25 best indie games out there, and I think Silksong obviously is one of the better indie games that have released in recent memory as well. Both of these games are great. If you love the Metroidvania experience, then you're going to like Hollow Knight. And I love the fact that they're coming back to the original Hollow Knight as well and offering it as free upgrades, free DLC, 7 million units sold. I mean, this is great for Team Cherry. They're doing some really good work overall. So what do you guys think about all the different topics that we discussed here, from Hollow Knight to Hyrule Warriors and Final Fantasy VII Remake? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.